So you've been making fire beats, but nobody's been hopping on them. I'm talking no sales, no DMs, no placements. Sound familiar? Well, that stops today. In this video, I'm breaking down 5 powerful ways you can attract artists onto your beats so you're not out here stuck. By the end of this video, you'll have a game plan to attract more artists, sell more beats, and build your demand as a producer. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Tip number 1, don't crowd your beats with too many sounds. This is a super easy mistake to make as a producer because typically we're just in our bedrooms, in our studios, just cooking up these beats by ourselves solo, and we're just feeling the beat, feeling the energy, and just putting everything we can in there to capture all the emotions that we're feeling at the moment. Unfortunately, that may not translate to whenever a recording artist is actually hearing your beat. They're actually listening with different ears. They're listening for spaces, pockets, areas for their lyrics and their emotions and the story that they're trying to tell to actually live. If you have too many sounds in there, they don't really have a place for them to fit. And unfortunately, that is something that happens to quite a few producers. Many producers, even myself, have had instances where artists will pick a beat that I really didn't think they would like, and I didn't even think it would fit them. And the reason is the beat really wasn't even finished. It might have been rushed from my perspective, but from the artist's perspective, it's just right. There's plenty of space for them to breathe, rap, sing, and do what they need to do to make a good or okay beat into an amazing song. Sounds counterintuitive as a producer, but I've seen it many times, so be careful. So one thing you may want to do is actually try rapping or singing to your beat once you get done with it. Once you sequence it out, start kind of mumbling to yourself or singing or rapping a song that you like and see if there's enough space for you to live on that beat. And if there isn't, make sure you go right to the mute button in your DAW, go ahead and mute some of those sounds and have a clear path for the vocal to live. It's kind of like walking into a really nice, well-designed, super expensive room. They have chandeliers, they have all kinds of hors d'oeuvres, fancy chairs. But then when you look around the room, you might say, okay, this place looks nice, it's appealing, but I don't quite know where I fit in this scenario. Do I sit there on that small couch? Do I fit there? I don't quite know where I'm supposed to fit in this environment. And it's the same thing for artists. Make sure you have enough space for the artist to fit and don't produce from a selfish perspective. Tip number 2, learn how to record. This is a super underrated way to get placements and actually sell beats. One of the easiest ways to sell beats is while you're recording an artist, you just play some of the beats that you've made and you can start to learn their taste. You can start to learn what exactly they're looking for, not what they say they're looking for in production, but what they're actually looking for. And at the same time, you can also start to sell the idea of the song. Maybe you have a hook idea, maybe you have an overall idea for the story that fits the beat that you made. And it's much easier to do if you're doing that person to person. You're already in the studio environment. They're already recording to beats that they have. Maybe a friend or family member made the beats, or maybe you guys are just going on YouTube and searching for type beats and they're just recording all day to those. This is a great position to be in. You don't necessarily have to consider yourself a traditional engineer from this perspective, but knowing how to record, having them artists around you, they're comfortable, and then just making a suggestion. This is an add-on. I know you already have beats, but I have beats too, and we have some downtime. Let's just take a listen to some of the beats that I have. This is an amazing way to sell beats, very underrated, and I wish more producers did that. This is super valuable. Tip number 3 is to show genuine interest in the artist. Unfortunately, there's so many just beat hustlers, beat slingers, people who just cook up beats and look at music production as just another hustle. And unfortunately, some recorded artists can get kind of guarded due to this. If the artist feels like you're just out here looking for money, then, you know, they might buy a beat here or there, but they don't really see you as a person they can rely on long term. So Be interested in what they have going on. If this is an artist that shares the style of music that you enjoy making, and you can tell that they're investing in themselves, they're doing live shows, they're actually doing things from the business perspective that demonstrates to you that they're serious about the craft and actually spending money to help themselves grow, then reach out to them. Follow up every so often and do it without expectations. Do it without the need to sell a beat or the need to gather money from them. You never know when they'll be in the mood for the specific beat that you may have sent them, maybe weeks ago, months ago, maybe even a year ago. Artists go through so many different moods that they can hear a beat 1 month and then a few months later they hear the same beat and then they just react and go crazy. So if you're a person who's already there, showing interest, sending them beats, you never know when they might say, hey, I need that beat. I'm ready to lease it. I'm ready to buy it. And thank you so much for showing interest in my career. Tip number 4 is to introduce artists to your network. This goes to giving without the expectation of receiving. So if you know a videographer, a photographer, a singer, a graphic designer, someone that you know can help the artist in their journey, feel free to introduce them to the person. And if that person does a great job, they're going to remember that you're the one who helped to make that connection. And people tend to feel like, okay, you helped me out. Maybe I can help you out some way. Maybe they hear a beat and then it's not necessarily for them, it's for another person, or they might have an artist in their team that they hear a beat that you sent them that they know another artist may like. This is a very powerful way to help artists want to get on your beats or want to help you out in general. It's giving, helping people without the expectation of receiving something back. And I promise you, you're not gonna see how this good energy, goodwill is going to find its way back to you long term. Tip number 5 is to have a personal brand. Some producers are extremely talented, but they don't necessarily have a brand that helps demand or entice an artist to actually want to spend money with them. Don't be afraid to go to a studio to do a cook-up. Take pictures at a nice studio. Go out with your friends and family to some type of music event and take pictures. This is gonna tell the story to the recording artist that you like investing in yourself. You like spending money on yourself to help yourself grow. So they're gonna do that in return. They're gonna respect you a bit more, that they don't feel like you're a person who's just in a studio, in a corner, cooking up fire beats, and now you're demanding from them hundreds of dollars. You're creating a reputation in the artist's mind by going out, by meeting people, and by investing in yourselves that's gonna help influence them to want to invest back in you. And this personal brand is gonna help differentiate you from a producer who's struggling to sell a $20 beat, $25 beat, versus an artist saying, hey, I see this producer is moving around, going to LA for cookups, going to New York, going to Atlanta, going to these different conferences. Let me respect this person's time. It's kind of like going into a store. A store could have some high quality clothes, but the outside might be a little gray, might be a little dimly lit. The people who work at that store could have great customer service skills, but based on the presentation, based on the branding on the outside of the store, people are going to be somewhat ho-hum to actually spend money and invest. You know, the quality is there, but the actual story, the reputation that's being told with the visuals is not quite up to par, if that makes sense. And it's the same thing as you as a producer. You want to have an enticing story, you know, do cookups, show up to different networking events, and let everyone who's watching you know, hey, you're a respectable person, you're a respectable brand, you're a respectable business. Please pay me what I'm worth. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Also check out some of the links down there at the bottom of the description. I have plenty of free stuff for you to help you in your music production journey, all 100% free. Hey, my name is Desmond A, and I'll be back with more great videos. Peace.
Desmond A.